When I surveyed people who got one of our quad head massages, one person who had been using our general purpose massages said she couldn't use it because the quad was too heavy. But they're practically the same weight. Now the quad just looks heavier because they're bigger. Now that extra size can make them a bit more cumbersome, but if you know how to use them properly, there's a lot of times where the extra size makes them easy to use. So let's have a look at how to get the most out of your quad. Now, as I said, the weight of the two machines is almost the same. The most of the weight's in the motor and the extra size is plastic, which is really light. So the difference in weight is the same as the weight of two spare heads, which is practically nothing. Now, I know because I have to pay the postage on them. Now that said, if you follow our usage instructions, a lot of the times the weight won't even matter and the size of the quad will make it easier. Now I'll show you why I'm a forearm because it's easy to see. Now starting with a general purpose massager, if I have my forearm horizontal, it takes the weight of the machine, so I'm holding practically no weight. However, I do have to keep the head flat and stop the machine tipping over. Now if I use the quad though, because it's a lot wider, it just wants to sit flat with no effort. Now it's the same for most places on your body, and especially important for places like your back where you can't see what you're doing. Now with a general purpose massager, it takes a bit of practice to get the head sitting flat, and I often see people not getting the benefits because they're sitting the machine crooked. However, the quad just wants to sit flat. Now because the quads are larger and flatter, you can even use the machines without having to hold the weight at all. Now for example, I can use them like a cushion massager like this, or do like I do each morning and sit one behind me on a chair. Now of course doing a much bigger area at once mean the quad will usually be a lot quicker to use and there'll be less need to find the exact spot, but of course there are places that are harder to get at and access is tighter. Now you'll usually still be able to do most of these with the quad even if it's just using one of the heads, but it's definitely more cumbersome. Now if you're doing the whole body, the ideal setup would be to do most of it with the quad and have the general purpose massager to tidy up the hard to get at spots. Now lastly, a lot of people who like to use the smaller head on the general purpose massager because they feel the head pressing in. Now I get that, but the reality is that the therapeutic effects come from the vibrations, not the pressing in. The pressing in might feel like it helps, but as long as the heads have constant contact, the vibrations will go right through you. Now if you've got a general purpose massager, you can pretend you're doing a bit of conventional massage as well, but with the quads you'll need to use them more as they were intended. Now think of them as like an ultrasound machine. You just sit the machine on the surface and let the vibrations penetrate and do the work. Anyway, hopefully this has been very helpful, and thanks very much for watching. It has been most appreciated.